Okay, we left off at the big ass calendar. So organization.
Yeah.
You've got your big calendar mapping out the entire year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Debbie Tufts. We got to say that. I mean, I watch her still. I'm 11 years in, and I still watch her and take some of her ideas.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's taking what I've kind of always done most of the things. I've had good years and bad years with drop bys and planning for marketing and things like that. But this calendar puts everything on the wall, and like I'm checking off. Like January was awesome. And Heather really wanted to work on that last year. She said, it's time for me to get more organized. And so that was something we did to help make sure that we are moving forward with this industry.
All right, Heather, what are you doing consistently?
Well, the big ass calendar. And then also I think like our marketing, like we do a content planner, Lisa, and I add to it, but she's the driving force behind a lot of our organization. But it really has helped me be more mindful about marketing and having, what are we going to talk about? How are we presenting it to our clients? And I think another fun thing that we're kind of doing is we're doing more videos and, at listing presentations, at open houses, broker opens, whatever, and just putting ourselves out there.
Yeah.
I would say that for sure, that's a big goal for us this year, is to do it together because we have fun.
Well, I mean, it's part of the deal. If you're not having fun, and that's a great part of our industry is we can have fun. We can kind of do some of these things. We're creating content, people learning about you. We could put this up on your YouTube page. People, can tag into it and so forth. All right. This is a new segment I'm adding to the show today, to episode 251, because obviously lending is what I do. But one of the things that real estate agents, to me, are such a pivotal. As housing is a pivotal piece in our economy. It's the real estate agent that's the conduit, if you want to. I can't think. Maybe there's a better word, but you guys are what's making it happen. And then you are sending, whether you're sending them to a lender, you're sending them to an inspection. You might even be recommending restaurants or whatever. The people are moving into the community they don't know. There's all these things that you become the concierge of in there. What are the challenges that, if we're talking to consumers right now about the people you refer, from the lender to the home inspector and so forth, because I imagine you've had people go their own route, right? Even though you say, hey, I'd really like you to use this person because I know they're going to tell me what's going on and we're going to close on time and so forth. They have a history with it, but there's a pushback, right? They know better. How do you handle the referral process when you're whether it's the lender, the home inspector, whatever it may be, whatever service that needs to be done?
Choices.
Choices.
Yeah, and I think, and I learned this early on, I think from Keller actually. Give them a couple of choices of your preferred inspectors, your preferred lenders, that type of thing, and you ultimately let them make the decision.
And you have to be really careful. And again, I'm always, every transaction I learn something new. Last year I had a learning moment where a situation happened, and I used that statement, but a little problem happened. So you have to be really, really careful, and you have to be always looking at. I looked at that and went, okay, what do I have to do different? Because I thought I did that, but maybe I need to put it in writing from now on. You have to be very careful. You want them to make that choice,
right?
Because if something goes awry, guess what? You're going to be in the middle of that.
Well, I would agree. You're in the middle no matter what happens.
Yeah, you are in the middle.
Even if they choose their own.
But
even
when it implodes, you're really in the middle.
Yeah.
And when it's a big implosion, that's it's not good.
Right. What are some situations? You've been doing enough transactions. Give us some of those situations that have gone awry, whether it was your referral or not. Just so if a consumer is listening today, and how did you get with the lender? How did you get with the home inspector? Whoever the other partner was to overcome that.
Well, it's
challenge.
really hard when they don't even pick up the phone when it implodes, and so that was eye-opening last year. I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute, wow, I've trusted these people for all of this situation, and so I think you have to be really careful. I'm learning to put things in writing. Like I'm pretty good about it. I would say set expectations. But yeah, we definitely. I got with my TC and I said, okay, well, let's tweak that to make sure that the recommendation that they pick the person, that they do the review, so that it doesn't come back that for some reason I wasn't really blamed, but the person was not happy.
What would make you as a real estate agent more comfortable in making that referral?
It's really,
what ammunition do you need? Because I mean, you're approached by all these people, lenders, home inspectors, all the time. Maybe some other agent uses them or something, but just like referring a restaurant, you can say, well, hey, I ate there last week. They had great chowder. You got to get the chowder there, right? That you're endorsing. You actually ate the chowder, hopefully, right? So, and the reason I'm drilling down on this question, I was at a sales rally and conference this Monday and Tuesday, and we were talking about giving the real estate agent the background to refer you, because a lot of times hey, will you send someone to me, but they don't even know enough about you or the company you represent or whatever to make that, hey, go to this restaurant and eat this chowder. It was awesome. Now maybe they go that night and a different chef made the chowder and it's not that great. Who knows? That can happen, right? That's life. What would give you the power there, or give you a little more confidence in those recommendations?
I think it's just experience. I mean, if we've had good experience with XYZ lender, if we've had great experience with this and home inspection company, whatever, this insurance
handyman,
company,
insurance,
right,
title company.
I think you can just talk about what you know and what you've experienced,
right?
And so we do tell our clients, like, hey, we've had good experience with this, and this, and hopefully, if something does go awry, from us having that relationship with whatever company, they do their best to make it right.
Well, it starts with pick up the phone, right? You mentioned that earlier.
I mean,
I when I hear that, they didn't pick up the phone, or they ghosted us for 3 days. What?
I mean, the people knew me. They knew me well. And so it was a bit disappointing. So I think, again, we get disappointments and we get learning moments. And I learned from that transaction. Thankfully, that customer service situation, they weren't blaming me. But I did go, wait a minute, maybe I should tweak my language. I'm working on that. I worked on it yesterday, tweaking on our recommendation list, deemed but not, I'm putting some language in there just to help, because it's changing. The industry has changed. And
well, when I look at numbers, I can look at agents' numbers, and I can look. It's like who are they doing the transactions with, right? And I see a lot of top producing people with a bunch of ones. I mean, they've only done one transaction with each of these lenders, meaning there's some disconnect there. They haven't had 10 bad transactions that didn't go back, right? Is setting the expectations, not only as you set expectations with your clients, buyers and sellers, setting expectations with because you guys are in charge. You guys are the conduit that I was leading up to, the set expectations. But I think between whether it's the lender and the real estate agent, or whoever the auxiliary support is, as we want to call ourselves, the expectation is there, and we don't know whether or not we met the expectation. Maybe we didn't, but you're not telling me I fumbled the ball, or I didn't call you, and there's that, because I hear that a lot. The huge, it went awry. It was one story I heard recently from somebody, was a lending situation, and the agent felt the loan officer didn't let somebody else know on their team of the situation. He heard it, but didn't email it to whoever needed to hear that to make it happen. But he was unwilling to admit to that. When really that was just all that was needed, was to say, I fumbled the ball, guys. Let me get it on the expedition.
Let's make it right.
Let's
make
it right.
We're human. We can all make mistakes.
I was just getting ready to say, we do make mistakes. And listen, I've made them, and I've learned from them. But
admit it and make it right and move on.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. All right, here's put you on the spot question. Either one, whoever wants to jump forward, whoever wants to hit the buzzer first. What's unique about the Lissa Slade team? Why should someone use Heather or Lissa?
Gosh, that's a really hard one. I thought we already told you.
It's an opportunity. It's your 90. It's your 30-second elevator speech or whatever they call it.
Commitment to excellence.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
for sure.
Commitment to excellence. We really work hard, and we want our clients selling or buying to know how hard we're working for them. This is a major decision for them to sell or buy. It's one of the hardest things we go through in life. You know, death, marriage, buying a house. Job change. So I think that, the community, the commitment to excellence. What do you think?
And to tag on to that, it's for us, communication, our processes, those types of things. One thing I was very attracted to with Lissa when I first went to Keller, I mean, we'd known each other in a personal sense. Her communication to her clients is so thorough. And I think some agents just feel like they don't need to know that, or,
They assume.
they
And you know what happens when you assume.
And because this isn't something that people do every day, they really don't know. And so just that's one thing I really did learn and loved, is just communicate, even if you're over communicating, because it sets their mind at ease.
I definitely over communicate. And I'm learning to work on that.
Consolidate it a little bit.
I don't want to take it away because it sets us apart, but
Right.
so I'm on a little, but I'm a talker and I am a communicator. So
Well, with the buyer, were you doing buyer broker agreements before at all?
no, I've never used it.
No, not okay. So it's all new. So now, because a lot of agents are saying they're actually making more money, getting better situations because of this time of sitting down. Have you molded in, or what's your, now that you have to do it, your kind of your attitude to really have an opportunity to tell us why they should be using the Lissa Slade team, right? I mean, you have an opportunity to tell them your value before showing them your value.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what's your mindset now? I mean, what are some of the things that you when you sit down and have that buyer broker or even a listing book, but you take a moment to say, hey, these are things I'm going to do.
Well, we have the book that we have, the listing book box is so clear. Like they know it as soon as they open that box and look at that book. I mean, it shows our.
Is this something you evolved or Engel Volkers has?
Engel Volkers has this box, like we call it the box, the white box. It's a very professional box. It was one of the things that when Corey met with me, I'm like, okay, sign me up. Where do I sign? Because it's so professional. It's a book and it has. Who are we? What are we gonna do for you? And what can you expect?
It's tailored to you guys, your branding.
Yep. It's got our bios, and it's just this
accomplishments.
We always have our Jack's Business Journal results in there. Processes. We tell them at that first meeting. I think we've only lost like 2 listings in all of our time, maybe 3. I off the top of my head because it's,
it was probably because someone offered some low. Commission.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be. I'm trying to add my head, but it's not been very many that we've not gotten a listing when we've walked in with the I call it the box. So I think that sets us apart. The buyer broker, we're learning that still. Because almost everyone we know is our friends, and it's extra hard for me.
So you just assume the sale. Or assume the relationship because that's what happens when you get good referrals. That's what you do.
I think with a referral, there's a level of built-in trust.
Exactly. Yeah,
I mean, the reputation has grown because of the service we have and value that we've provided thus far.
What is your guys' attitude, or how do you? And I don't know if this is individually. I would imagine it is, but you could tell me differently. But as the listing agent, when that potential buyer calls and they're asking you about, hey, has the seller put anything aside for buyer compensation? Are you guys in the immediate say, this is what it is, so many bananas, or you're like, make us the offer and we'll work from there?
I'm not going to take a listing if you're not going to compensate the buyers.
Right. But so when the buyer's agent calls you, when the buyer agent calls you and asks you, has the buyer or has the seller set aside, do you go, yes, they have, and they've set aside this much? You just put it out there.
Yeah.
That's your attitude.
That's what we've been instructed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The last thing I want to wrap up is you mentioned earlier that you kind of started you started a team. I mean, some people might even think prematurely, right?
What I did, probably.
Yeah, you dove in and that's what you wanted to do and you went after it.
It was a dream in my head, so I was not going to let somebody tell me I couldn't do that.
Did you have structure to that dream that or you kind of have kind of failed forward?
I absolutely failed forward, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people. Customers love me, but I know there's some people that joke about me being on the on that
pushing
machine.
the envelope.
Maybe pushing the envelope, but like when I have a dream, I'm just going to do it. You're not going to tell me no. I'm not going to let you tell me no. There are no options. It's me. It's me taking care of my kids and my special needs son. There's no one else around, so I am going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make it happen. But yeah, I probably have had people criticize me, and that's okay. They don't live my life. I do.
Right. Well, so speaking to agents that are out there, one of the challenges, and I believe that number is probably somewhere between 6 and 9 million is where an agent starts to, if they're doing everything themselves, is like just maxed out. Depending on how many transactions that evolves where they're selling. Somewhere in this region, 6 to 9 million, they hit that lid, and they're often going, well, what should I do next? And everyone has a different recommendation. It should be a transaction coordinator. Some people think it's an assistant. Some people partner up with another agent, like you have. What would someone is coming to you, or maybe you were speaking in front of a group of these type of agents that have reached, I call it the lid, because they keep hitting that amount every year because they just don't have enough time, and they need to learn to take a step out and start leveraging other people's abilities. How would you address that?
So TC was first for me. Marketing person was second for me.
Now you hired the TC flat out because at the time, because this is what 17, 15. Okay, for 14. Yeah. This is 15. Because at that time, did they have the pay-for-play transaction coordinators that are out there right now?
Yeah, Keller Williams has had one forever.
Where you just paid them by the transaction.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, they get paid at closing.
So you took advantage of that right away.
I did right away, and then I had a very part-time marketing person from like late 15 or early 16. I had 3 different people that from church that I knew that had marketing background, and they kind of came in and did it very part-time, but I was taking a chance and doing it.
Well, in marketing for a single agent is not a 40-hour-a-week thing. So
no.
They could piece it in there.
Yep. I think one of them worked 10 hours a week. One of them was way less than that. It was probably 5.
Yeah. What are some of the things that an agent, they're starting to do some transactions, they've got a business, they're growing it, but what are some of the things that you were having that marketing person do for you? Because I think we say marketing, it's a wide open, what are they doing? Billboards, they're putting print, they're putting this, they're putting social media.
So managing my social media and putting together, new to market listing, anything that would have to do with me, starting a listing.
Putting
process.
make sure everyone's in the CRM.
Yep. No, I do that myself.
Okay.
We've been on the hunt for a while for an assistant, but haven't found the right person yet. That's our next step.
Right. How early did you get right into the CRM early?
Oh yeah, I've been using my CRM since
from day one.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because I think a lot of agents neglect that because you might be doing 1, 2, 3 transactions. You're not so it's like one every day. You're like, oh man, I better get this. You're like you let them build up, and then you realize you haven't put all these people in. Yeah, and then you've neglected all these possible referral sources that you could have been. Sending a newsletter to or whatever. Do you put it? What's your kind of marketing campaign?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Newsletter.
We send out anytime we have a new listing. We send out if we've had
customer events.
Yeah, that's fun.
What do you guys like to put in your newsletter? Is it unique or are you just kind of?
No, it's pretty standard. I mean, occasionally
it's like events that are happening that month.
Sometimes we tailor it. Sometimes we say
listings.
Yeah.
If there's something new happening.
Yeah. I mean, we've done a couple of unique ones too. We've last year we did the Knowledge is Power. Remember?
That's right.
Yeah. So because we wanted people to know what was coming.
Are you tracking any? Are you tracking any of the like, are these people opening that? I
Oh,
assume
yeah,
you're doing an
yeah,
email,
Yep.
right? You are.
Yep.
You know who's opening it.
Yeah,
We have good click rates.
yeah, we have really good click rates. Mine has come down just a little bit, but I had a lot of listings last year, and so broker opens. Unfortunately, because we send it to the whole NEFAR database, that messed up mine last year. I'm like, why did mine drop? And it's never been that low. And we came down to the conclusion that it was because I was sending out all these broker opens and open houses for, the
Yeah, I get them.
and we, yeah.
Because Debbie was talking about something I thought was really interesting, that her team is so in tuned on the sending out the different the newsletter and so forth, and they go back in if they see someone hasn't opened it in so many months, that they find a way to reach out to them, call them or something, but just to keep the plate spinning with them.
Right.
Don't let it die off.
Her systems are incredible.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Anything you guys would like to add?
No, we're very professional. We love our clients. We try to add value, and we sprinkle in a little bit of fun.
Maybe a lot of fun some days.
Well,
it depends.
It was a jam-packed show. I think you guys put a lot on it. I mean, we've gone about an hour and 15 minutes minus our 1 minute blip there. And I appreciate you guys coming on. I think the listeners got a lot from it, and obviously got to learn a little bit about you guys. So we'll cut